It's your bandito Carlitos coming at you with the breakdown. Today we take a look at Adele Fornarino and her signature mirror lock. Two-time ADCC champion, she's known for snatching up arms, but what is a mirror lock? The mirror lock is a shoulder lock, very much like the Americana, trapping the lower half of the arm while the elbow is forced inward, typically executed with an overhook from standing or closed guard. The move gets its name from Frank Mir's execution of it in the UFC against Pete Williams. Now the first step to getting a mirror lock is getting an overhook. Here we see Adele threaten the straight arm lock, encouraging her opponent to drive forward and give up that overhook. If her opponents stay upright, she goes to them, coming up with a double tricep grip, wrapping her arms around her opponents and establishing head position underneath the chin. This weakens the frames on the hips and allows Adele to pull her opponent down, keeping chest-to-chest connection. She secures the overhook with the opponent's hand on the mat. Speaking of hands on the mat, honorable mention, 10th Planet Zombie for Mission Control. With the overhook in place, the next step is to create space. We can see Adele use a foot on the hip here, and Frank Mir use the shin across the hip. With the opponent pushed away, we can slide down to the crease of the elbow and wrench the arm inward. The other way we secure the mirror lock is by biting down on the opponent's elbow as they try to limp arm out. The key is to tighten the overhook as the opponent tries to turn their thumb down, trapping the thumb up and the lower half of the arm in the upright position, ideal for wrenching the elbow inward. Here we see Adele attacking the mirror lock with a foot on the hip. Her opponent defends well by circling her hips around Adele's post. Adele counters by straightening out her leg, pushing on the hip with the hamstring. Her opponent responds by pushing forward and stacking. Adele jumps up with a top lock and then flower sweeps her opponent, finishing the mirror lock from an armbar position with kind of like a heel hook grip. The threat of the mirror lock setting up a really cool triangle game. She starts with the overhook, her free arm gripping the opponent's wrist. She then connects her arms in a figure 4, trapping the opponent's arm to their chest. She then swings her leg over the opponent's shoulder, securing the triangle. Super simple, super easy. Here the opponent keeps the arms in really tight. Adele grabs a collar tie and then her bicep to frame and create space, and uses her forearm to push the opponent's bicep over her knee for pyramid control. We can see the feet crossing behind the back, and then she controls the wrist. She grabs her own wrist, figure 4ing her arms together. She has her knee above the bicep and her feet crossed behind the back. Interesting detail, unlike the traditional pyramid where the knee is behind the head with the posture broken, Adele has her knee in front of the opponent's head, allowing her to slip her foot out from around the arm and secure her triangle. Adele also attacks this sequence from half guard, not minding her opponent's underhook and establishing wrist control early on. The difference between the half guard variation is, yes, she does grab her bicep connecting the arms, but she looks to push the opponent's wrist in between her legs. And if you didn't notice, she also slides her outside butterfly in. Unlike a traditional butterfly sweep, Adele doesn't try to get to her side, but flat to her back. With the opponent's free arm between their legs, Adele can freely get her leg over the opponent's shoulder. Here she goes for the arm bar instead of the triangle, going belly down with an overhook. In terms of what's next for Adele, a lot of people, herself included, are calling for a match between her and Fionn Davies. I think a match between her and Elizabeth Clay before then, either on WNO or Polaris rule set, would be far more interesting, especially considering Elizabeth finished Fionn in the absolute tournament at Polaris. But that's just me. Let me know what you think in the comments section. As always, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace!